My name is Paul. I'm a co-founder of Ultimate Investing. This series actually was presented by our UI bot, okay, with a very special voice. But the thing is, UI bot is currently busy. He's been roped into to do another project of us. So me, Paul, will be actually standing in to do the interview. Another reason is also, I think some people say that they cannot hear the UI bot very clearly. So I hope I have a better, um, easy to listen voice than the UI bot. Okay, okay. So let's wait. Okay, we have about 23 people. Let's maybe wait for another minute. Okay, before we start to invite Ranford into the Zoom. Okay, into our Facebook Live. So I'm still waiting. Anybody know? Okay, so Rutira. I don't know whether I pronounce your name correctly. So Rutira, you know Ranford. Okay, good, good. Okay, how many of you know Ultimate Investing here? If you know Ultimate Investing, can you just type in UI? Can you just type in UI? I hope you all know Ultimate Investing. And just on top, you can see my Telegram. T.me Ultimate Investing SG. Okay. Okay, so let's just wait for a little bit more. How's everyone doing? Have you had your dinner? Thanks for tuning in on a Friday night. I mean, usually people will go out on a Friday night, even with COVID. Thanks for being online with us here. And I'm sure today's sharing will be very eventful. Ranford can share with you a lot of tips of being doing business and also about how he view business as a investment. So this is something that both myself, and Ranford would like to share with you guys. Okay, so let me just start with a little bit of Ultimate Investing. So allow me to share a little bit about ourselves. If you are new to Ultimate Investing actually combines fundamental, technical analysis together using our FATA options strategies to allow investors to gain an unfair advantage. Okay, so please give us a like or comment or share this broadcast. Your help actually goes a long way. And today we are happy to have Ranford with us to share about his journey as an instant entrepreneur and also his passion about life. Okay, before we invite Ranford online, we would like to announce that there will actually be a prize at the end of the session for the most engaging chatter during our live session. So make sure that you type in, you share this post, you engage with us, and he or she will actually get a prize from Diverse Learning, which is a company that Ranford owns. Okay, and the prize later, Ranford will disclose what is the prize. Okay, the result will actually be announced on our Ultimate Investing Facebook page. So do keep a lookout for that. Okay, so without much further ado, let's us welcome Ranford online. Ranford, you can show yourself now? You need to unmute yourself. Okay, hi.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's my honor to have you here. So, Ranford, how has your day been?
It's been good. So I've been busy. And then what a coincidence, right? Today, during my meeting, I bumped into you twice, around the Fair Park area, while you're
Yeah,
walking your dog. So I think that's what I call the law of attraction at work. They know that we're going to have an interview tonight.
yeah. I was quite surprised to see you in the area. Yeah, but yeah, I walk my dog Bruno quite often around my house. So
Hmm.
he needs to be walked 4 times a day. But I was quite surprised to bump you into that pizza place.
Yeah, that's why. And I follow your Facebook, so I see Bruno, and then in the picture today I got to see him live. So that's quite wonderful.
Okay, okay, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, so yeah, so for audience, maybe Ranford, you could like to do a quick introduction about yourself and what are you passionate about in life? Because you always introduce yourself as a passionate entrepreneur.
Hmm. Yeah, sure. So basically, my name is Ranford. For those of you who don't know me, I run an education business called Diverse Learning. Right, I'm also actually a published author of 2 books on entrepreneurship. Yeah, so from a very young age now, I've always been very passionate about this topic. So that's why I thought, hey, why not write a book about it, right? Yeah. So there are, just like you mentioned something about passion. So for me, there are three things that I'm very passionate in life about. The first one is entrepreneurship. The second one is actually youth, right? And the third one is education. Yeah. So during the past 10 years, I mean, during my entrepreneurship journey, I do a lot of volunteer work. Yeah. So there's this youth organization that I volunteer for many years back, since I started my entrepreneurship journey. It's called Sing Youth Hub. Yeah, so Sing Youth Hub, actually they strive to empower Singaporean youth, to be social entrepreneurs, and to be civic-minded citizens. Yeah, so I actually volunteer a lot of my time there. Yeah, to actually mentor, to coach, and to teach all these students. Yeah, so that was actually kind of my journey. So that's for the volunteer part. Yeah, so in this organization, eventually I started out as a volunteer trainer, because I mean they knew that I was into entrepreneurship. So I started to train, I started teach what I know, and then eventually I went on the board of directors, honorary treasurer, VP, and then president. Yeah, so during my course of my work there, yeah, I was very happy, because at the day I got to do contribute, right, back to society. Yeah, as and I get to learn as well. Yeah, so one of the projects that I did for this Sing Youth Hub was actually to launch their flagship store. It's actually a flagship pop-up store called Craftpreneurs of SG. Yeah, so we're actually the first in Singapore to launch it at 1KM Mall. The time it's called 1KM Mall. Now I think it's called Kinex. Yeah. So at that time, so tapping on my strength and my expertise, I was actually very good at this marketing, publicity, PR. So at the time, I managed to help them secure about close to a $250,000 in terms of publicity sponsorship, to kind of rah this whole thing. Yeah, and I'm very happy to hear, I just met the executive director recently. I'm very happy to hear that this project or this initiative called Craftpreneurs of SG, right now today is been formed, and it's actually now a social enterprise and doing well. They launched it actually during COVID period, Yeah.
Oh, wow,
So that's kind of
amazing.
kind of cool.
Yep. So yeah, I just realized that I forgot to share the PowerPoint, but I think then that gets people to see you more. But let me just put on the PowerPoint so that we can see your handsome face. Okay. So they
Thank
can
you.
see now. Yep. So yeah, so amazing. I mean, Ranford, do you mind telling us how old you are?
Wow, it's not secret, I cannot say one.
Is it?
Can. So I'm actually 29, going 30 this year. I am
Okay.
born in 1991. So
Okay.
in Chinese they call 属羊的啦，属羊的.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's
So hitting the
still
big three,
very
hitting the big three this year.
below 30. Wow. So actually, Ranford, you actually wrote two books, at a young age. So can you share? I'm gonna just show that. So one book is called Bold, I think, and the other one is called The Instant Entrepreneur. Yeah, maybe can you share about the two books, and what drives you to actually write these two books at such a young age?
Yeah, okay. So like what I briefly mentioned earlier, from a very young age, I was very passionate about entrepreneurship. Yeah, so I thought to myself, I came across this idea. I mean, when I was much younger, I actually attended a lot of personal development courses. Yeah, so a lot of them they were saying, they taught a lot of things. But then what stuck with me was the idea of writing a book. So I thought it was actually a very good idea, because at the end of the day, it kills two birds with one stone. Firstly, I get to boost my credibility, as a published author. Yeah, and then secondly, I get to learn what entrepreneurship meant to me once and for all. Yeah, so I mean, entrepreneurship, although it's just one word, it means so many things to different people. Yeah, to some people, it's like the most feared word in the dictionary. Yeah, they have to step out their comfort zone, do something crazy, But then for others, it's like kind of like the last resort. When, for example, if you are retrenched, you lose a job, say, "Aya, bo pian na," you go and 闯一闯, go and start something, or go and, I don't know, survive, in order to survive. So I thought, why is, although it's just one word, why did it have so many different definitions. So I wanted to find out the answer for myself, once and for all, what it meant. Yeah, so basically, since when on this topic, I can share. This one I can go on and on. So you've got to stop me, if I.
Yeah.
This is actually an interview by itself, but just to share a brief history of this book. I published my first book. The first book is called The Instant Entrepreneur. Yeah, 10 surefire strategies, to guarantee your success. So this first book I published it when I was 20, going 21. Yeah, so at that time, I met some old guards, in other words, seasoned business owners. They say, Ranford, give you 2 cents worth of advice. I know, don't go and work on this book. That time I was still in the army. Yeah, they said, go and finish your army, go and get a degree, go and work for someone 3 to 5 years, and then come out and learn the ropes, come out and strike out on your own. If you succeed, well about success, if you fail, well about failure. Yeah, so I got this one. It's a very logical train of thought. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Actually, to be honest, I was quite swayed, to buy into their their thinking, but I'm glad I didn't, because if I did, I wouldn't be here sharing my story today. Yeah, so in the end, at the end of the day, it's about reframing your mind, about changing your perspective. So in the end, I thought to myself, I'm not the message. Yeah, because when I told them I was writing a book about entrepreneurship, they asked me, oh, Ranford, how many millions have you made? How many franchises have you sold? How many businesses have you started and things like that? So I say, 没有嘞, I got nothing, All I had was some prior experience in training. I love training, I did some dabbled with some small business here and there. Yeah, so that's why they gave me the advice. Yeah, so instead of being the message, yeah, I reframe myself, and to think, I am now the messenger. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you heard this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Yeah,
Yep.
so what he did was, in over 20 years, he went to interview or follow or shadow successful entrepreneurs, people like Henry Ford and of course many others. And eventually he wrote his own book, on what were their thinking, what were the success traits. And eventually, I think he's more famous, or he left a legacy, even longer than those entrepreneurs who existed back then. Yeah, so that was what spurred me on. Yeah, if not, I would have given up on this project a long time ago. Yeah.
So the first book, Instant Entrepreneur, was launched while you were in the army. So, but previously, I understand you were from Temasek Poly.
Yes, Temasek Poly.
And you were already starting to think about entrepreneurship and stuff like that. Does the school actually sort of has an influence on that?
Okay, it's not a bit sensitive, but I don't mind sharing. Okay, I don't mind sharing for the audience here to learn, to hear about my story. And then, of course, since you asked about Temasek Polytechnic. Yeah, so at that time, when from a young age, I knew I didn't want to work for people. I knew I wanted to start something on my own. So at 18, I was very excited. I was like, oh, this is the legal age, to start my own company. Yeah, so what I wanted to do first was I actually wanted to sell children's clothing. So I went up to my school, my lecturer, they have this, in the past they call it an entrepreneurship department. So I said, I'm going to sell clothes, children's clothes for the kids. Yeah. So in the end, the lecturer threw me back the question, say, Ranford, what's your USP? Ranford, where's your competitor analysis? Ranford, what's the SWOT analysis? How are you going to reach them? So at that time, at 18, I didn't have all these things. For me, my thinking was very simple. Parents love their children. Yeah, they want to get the best for their kids. And then what I do, I just find the best stuff, and then give it to them at an affordable price. So that was my thinking. So that kind of like discouraged me. So I didn't go back to the entrepreneurship department anymore. But I went to at the time was about 2008, 2009. Yeah, so I went to do like flea market. At the time the trend was flea market business. So we talk about this concept since we are like in the ultimate investing, right? You teach about investing. So we talk about the concept of unlimited ROI. Yeah. So what I did was I just went to take secondhand items or pre-loved items, and I went to sell it. So technically my cost is zero, right? Or no cost at all, but my profits is whatever I sell. Of course, there's costs that involve the rental and things like that. But we talk about it in a more what do you call it? Excluding the cost of the venue or the rental. It's kind of like technically infinite ROI.
Yeah, It's like a no capital business, they call it. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So that's before you wrote the book on Insta Entrepreneur.
Yeah, before that.
Okay, that's even before that. So you actually have a lot of ideas in your head, how what you do, and you try and error and stuff, and then before you
Yeah.
start to write it down into the book and stuff. Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay,
right.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. How about the second book? The second book comes a few years after.
Yes, correct. So, coming back to the first book,
Hmm,
eventually what I did was this book, the first book, The Instant Entrepreneur. In the end, I actually pre-sold about 500 copies,
okay.
raised more than 15,000 in terms of sponsorship. Even before writing a single word. Yeah. So a lot
Oh,
of them, on hindsight, or a lot of them, even some years after I've written the first book, they say that Ranford, even though you don't have started your own business, you didn't uh, start make millions of dollars or even start a lot of franchises, but your book publishing journey, is an entrepreneurship journey or an example by itself, which it caught me off guard lah. I thought that what they said actually makes sense. Yeah, so that was for the first book, and actually thanks to the first book, I managed to get engagements. I mean not engagement, but I got invited to speak on TEDx, on the road less traveled.
wow.
And I was able to inspire, youths then. And I was also
Okay.
invited to radio stations to actually talk about talk about the book, talk about entrepreneurship. Yeah, so it was a no regrets. I really enjoyed the journey. But to be honest, okay, to let you know a little secret. If you were to ask me, Ranford, today at 29 going 30, will I do what I've done
That.
when I was 20 or 21? I would say no. Because
Okay.
when you're young, you're idealistic, you think you can change the world, you can conquer everything, it's a double-edged sword, I guess. So that was probably the thing that spurred me on to do it. But at today, 10 years with all the information, maybe not. I will still maybe do it differently, I guess. Yeah, but that's
I
just
guess that at that time there was pure passion and pure adrenaline as a young just out of school, and you think the sky is the limit and you can do it. But I think after being in the business world for almost 10 years, you start to realize, hey, actually certain things need to be a bit more careful and stuff. I guess we all learn along the way, and I mean uh, I think even saying that, right, I think you didn't regret that much what you did lah. I mean, at that time, at that space, that was the correct thing to do lah. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But
Mm.
no regrets. I enjoyed the journey. I enjoyed the experience. It's got me to where I'm today, and I'm actually very, very grateful. Yeah, and I'm very pleased as well, because to be able to share my knowledge and experience. Because ever since, even up to today, when I tell people I'm a published author, they say, "Wow, Ranford, you're so young. How do you do it?" Um, and I'm very happy to share my knowledge and experience. I do come across many people who want to write their own books, but of course they have never gotten it done. It's in
Yep.
their bucket list, 10 years, 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and then coming back to your question about the second book.
Yes.
So second
Both.
book, yeah, Bo. So Bo is actually, I wrote this book 4 years later. It was actually for Temasek Polytechnic. Yeah. So
Okay.
the second book was more to interview alumni entrepreneurs from Temasek Polytechnic. Yeah. So they actually engaged me as the
Okay.
because they knew I had this prior experience, to get this book done.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really, really interesting experience, because from there I got to before that it was just my first book was really about what entrepreneurship meant to me, what entrepreneurship is about, and it's of course about empowering aspiring entrepreneurs. But the second book is really getting to know all these entrepreneurs, and some of my 学长 my
Uh,
my
are these some
seniors,
like famous people inside? I mean, do you mind sharing? I mean, in the book, I haven't got a copy of the book though. Yeah,
yeah.
but
So
some
there
names that
are,
are more that.
yeah, offhand, I know like Alvin Poe is inside.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
founder of
He sold off a company, Vodium, is it? Oh,
yes, Vodian, correct.
okay,
Yeah, so I
okay,
was
yeah, yeah.
interviewed inside people like Kingsley. I mean, I think he sold off his own business sample store to SingPost. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and of course, I think if I recall correctly, Guo Hong, he's running Cosiva Lab. Yeah, so
Okay.
he does all the web development. Yeah, and now he's actually one of the pre-approved vendors for the government grants. Only 11 of them in Singapore. Yeah,
I
so
see.
all
I
this,
see.
so sometimes all these people, they are all these successful people. For me, I see them as successful business owners. They're in our midst. So I actually have the
Yeah.
privilege of speaking to them, really picking their brain and learning from them, and of course sharing it, in the form of a publication.
Yeah, and I think it also opens up your network, right? I mean, nowadays I think probably you can talk to Alvin and stuff like that. He'll still give you his time because you actually interviewed him before for a book, right?
Yeah, that's
So
right. I mean, since you asked the question, I was actually meeting him just now. Before
okay,
I bumped into
okay.
you.
I see, I see. So
Yeah.
so I think that at such a young age, I mean, knowing successful entrepreneurs, you get to learn a lot of skills and also tips from them and stuff like that. So maybe um for a journey of business and entrepreneurship and also knowing all these successful entrepreneurs, can you share with our audience what are some of the tips that you think is important for people who want to start out a business or want to be entrepreneur? Do you have some tips for them? Yeah.
So for tips, okay, maybe I share a quick backstory. Like, have you heard of quarter life crisis, midlife crisis before?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So what happened was I actually suffered a quarter life crisis. Quarter life crisis.
Okay.
So at the point, what you're doing so many things. Like, what is it that you really want to stand for? What is it that you want to do? So I think a lot of times, it's a lot of self-reflection. Yeah. So do you want to be in the pursuit of money? Do you want to be in the pursuit of a career, or do you want to be in the pursuit of family? So at that, from from the beginning, you need to know what is it that you want to achieve. Okay, that's one. So to cut a long story short, for me, I realized for myself, it's actually very different for everyone. Everybody, they have different goals in life. Some people, they want to pursue family. They want to pursue career. Making money. So it is different for everybody. But for me, it has to be values driven. Yeah, values driven. So at the end of the day, I ensure that whatever I'm going to take on moving forward is congruent with my values. Yeah. So values, or maybe even interests. So for example, values like, or I think I wouldn't say values, but probably more of interest, like what I mentioned earlier, what you're passionate about. Yeah. For me, anything that's to do with entrepreneurship, anything that's to do with youth, anything that's to do with education. Yeah, I will take on. Yeah, so that was kind of like my thought process. Yeah, so I mean, to answer your question, I think at the end of the day, the greatest tip I could give would be to get the people, or to get people who are keen to start something of their own, or in entrepreneurship, or maybe whatever else they want to do in life. Excuse me, is to actually find out for themselves what they want to stand for, what they want to do. Yeah, what they want to achieve eventually. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. But maybe we can let me rephrase it. Entrepreneurship probably needs a few things to come together. You need capital, you need your human network, you need your ideas, you need so example, let's say if I ask you about this thing, capital, network, and the last one is the ideas. Which one will you rank it out of these three? How will you rank it? Which is more
Okay.
important?
Yeah, so very good question, Paul. So this one will lead me to the answers I found from my quarter life crisis, right?
Okay.
Okay, so basically for me, after I've thought about it, so at the end of the day, I realized that that I always ask myself, okay, basically I learned this thing, okay, they talk this thing I found very useful, okay, which was to ask yourself, if today was my last day, yeah, will I die a happy person? Ask yourself that question in the mirror, but if it's too intense, yeah, maybe you can ask yourself, if I only had 3 months to live, what would I do? Yeah, so I knew for a fact when I was in army, when I look at myself in the mirror every single day in my army uniform. The time, for those of you who are tuning in overseas, I've got some overseas friends. In Singapore,
Yeah, from
army is
Thailand.
considered.
There was a friend from Thailand.
Yes,
So
Daniel. Thank you so much, Daniel, for tuning in. So, in Singapore, army is conscripted, so we are tasked to go to do as army. So at the time, I was like, wow, every day, wow, if I die today, I won't be happy. Yeah. So when I asked myself the question, what were 3 things that I want to do? So there were 3 things that came to me, and up to today, I'm still looking forward to achieve it lah. Okay, so the first one was actually to travel to Singapore to London by land. Okay, so that one have a KIV due to the
okay.
COVID situation, we can't do that. Okay, so that's one. Second one would be to convert turn my book into an online course.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was actually the second one, and the third one would be to travel to North Korea. Don't ask me why, but I think it's just something that came up in my mind, and it's something that I really want to do. Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why I shared this is because I wanted to answer your question about why I want to do my online course. Because for someone to start something of their own but don't know where to begin, I realized that they need to acquire, based on my experience and observation, what I've been through the past 10, 12 years, you need 5 key skill sets.
Okay.
All right.
5,
the first one,
okay, so
yes,
please
5.
remember there's 5 key skill sets. Okay.
The first one is you need to know how to turn ideas into cash.
Okay.
Yeah. The second one would be you need to have acquired selling skills. Yeah.
Selling skills. Okay.
The third one would be presentation skills. Okay. The fourth one would be networking skills. Okay. And the last one would be personal finance, financial management.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the 5.
Can you help to type these 5 into the chat group so that you can remind each other? So maybe Ranford, let me try to repeat. The first one is actually turning ideas into cash. Right?
Yes.
That's the first one. What's the second one?
Second one is selling skills.
A selling skill. So you must be. That's very interesting because every I was in the telecom industry previously, and then I eventually do sales, and I start to realize that whatever you do in life, right, actually you're doing sales. It's just a matter of time where you reach there. So sales skills is definitely very, very, very. Thanks, Jean. Thanks, Jean, for typing in. Yeah. So then the third one you're saying is about what's the third one?
Presentation skills.
Presentation. Yeah. So presentation, because in order to sell, you must present yourself. You must make people take attention of pay attention to you and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's very important. And
because selling is actually 1-to-1, but if you are able to master presentation skills, you're able to stand on stage, you can sell one to many.
Yeah, so you have leverage actually.
Yes.
Okay, so someone type presentation skills, networking skills. So networking skills, is that the number 4?
Yes, the 4th one. That's right.
Okay, so like what you did, you wrote a book and you interview successful entrepreneurs. So you have this network. And I also understand you are in a networking organization. Is it okay?
Yeah, that's right. BNI. Yeah, BNI. I'm with BNI. Is actually Business Networking International. Yeah, so it's all business owners coming together really to network, and of course learning about acquiring the right way of networking. Yeah, to be able to help each other grow our business. Yeah, so that's a very, very important skill one must acquire.
It's quite interesting because one of my co-founder, Bowen, is also in BNI, but it's in another chapter. I attended once or twice the meeting. It's really quite interesting, and they do run it in a very structural way, and you don't feel like you're being forced to network. Yeah, so I kind of like it. Yeah, so that's good. So the last one, what's the last skill that we need actually?
Personal financial management or personal finance.
Finance management. So that leads to this picture actually I have on the screen. So Ranford, that was you in the middle. It was done during COVID, so everybody have masks, and you are actually teaching a class. Do you want to talk more about this? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we make sure this picture we have social distancing in place. All masks on.
Okay.
Yeah. So great that you asked question. So basically, I mentioned earlier, right now I'm actually running an education company called Diverse Learning. Yeah. So Diverse Learning, our tagline is really it's a one-stop fun learning experience. So anything that's to make learning or education, fun and interactive we will take on. Yeah. So we actually have our flagship product called Asset Finesse. Asset Finesse.
Okay.
So it's actually a proprietary board game invented by us. So it's actually invented by Singaporeans for Singaporeans. Yeah. So if you heard of, if you don't know what Asset Finesse is, just imagine Monopoly. Yeah, but teaching you about money. Yeah, for Singaporeans.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of like this product that we have. So what happened is right now what I'm doing with this company, I'm actually revamping it a bit. Okay, revamping it and then scaling it up. Yeah, so that's actually my goal now. So I'm actually my core is really in business development and in marketing. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the vision of this product is really to empower Singaporeans to be more financially literate, through education and experiential learning. Yeah, so what I did with this board game is that I actually got someone to develop a training curriculum, a full day training curriculum around the board game. Yeah.
It's like you play Monopoly and then you have a full day course that teach you how to play Monopoly.
Not really like that. Not only teach you how to play Monopoly, but teach you the thought process behind.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
like
you must
Monopoly.
find the railway station. Why you must?
Yes. So teach you like, why in Monopoly? Why must you buy the house? No, how do you get more? How do you get more? What do you call it? Income and revenue? Yeah. So it's kind of like that. The purpose of that full day workshop. Yeah. So we launched it because we wanted it to be experiential. Yeah. So it encompasses theory plus practical. Yeah. So in this full day workshop, it's actually an on-site workshop. Yeah. So what participants will learn actually, or what all these students of mine have learned, is really first half of the day they really learn about things like what is income, what is expenses, cash flow, assets, liability, net assets, some really basic knowledge. What is personal finance? Has personal finance changed over the eras? We are from industry 1.0 all the way to 4.0. And what are some of the Singapore specific lifestyle programs? Things like CPF, IRAS, HDB, Skills Future. Even Enterprise Singapore. How can this help us to not only grow our wealth, preserve our wealth, build our wealth? Yeah. So after learning that, after lunch, you come back, they will play the game to solidify their learning.
Yeah, so this is really interesting because I got the honor to attend this workshop, one day workshop. I think last month, or I can't remember.
Last month,
December.
right?
Last month, December, yeah. And it was really interesting because I see myself as pretty savvy. Okay, I teach people how to invest. I know about personal finance and stuff like that. But after going through the course, I still learn things that I have never learned before. Because end of the day, this is a very they have localized the context and introduced things like how do you get more out of personal tax reliefs? How do you get more out of, like, if you're a business, what grant can you apply for and stuff like that? So all this is actually very, very beneficial for let's say anybody who wants to start a business or is thinking of starting a business. All these things I think is very, very useful. So there was a question from Kai. I don't know where's your friend. Is it usually how long is one round of the game?
Hello Kai, thanks for tuning in. Yes, I know Kai. So one game, so basically this game, since you asked this question, this game has two modes. Yeah, one is a light mode, we call it light mode. So in this game, okay, so maybe for some of you who might have played a game, I think the closest game from what I've heard in the market is this game called Cash Flow 101. Yeah, Cash Flow 101 is actually invented by the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad called Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. So basically this game has been around. So Robert Kiyosaki's game focuses on passive income, teaches you about passive income, but for our game, we focus more on accumulation of net assets. Yeah, so that's our what we want to drive across, and of course ours is more localized to the Singaporean context. We have things like CPF, HDB, what's it called, baby bonus, things like that. So in this game, we have two modes. One is the light mode, light mode, and then the other one is the standard mode. So the light mode, the objective is actually to accumulate 200,000 in net assets, and own one public housing property, public we call it HDB HDB for short or own a PHP. Okay, that's for the light mode. For the standard mode, we have is to accumulate 1 million in net assets, have 150,000, in your CPF savings, and own a condominium. Yeah, so sound like Singaporean dream already.
Yeah,
Yeah. So to answer Kai's question, the light mode usually it takes about, for new players, maybe about 1 to 1.5 hours. Yeah, 1.5 hours.
for the whole game lah. So he's
Yes.
asking about one round. So I think when you say one round means you have to go through the board one time around
Or
there.
one
Right?
round, then very fast lah. One round maybe 5 minutes. Depending on
Yeah,
number of players. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, in terms of
But
completing the game, or for someone to win, I would think probably about 1.5 hours. Yeah. But for my record, my record was someone winning the game in 47 minutes.
oh my God, that's super fast. Yeah.
Yes, and the person played the second time.
Okay, I think at the 47-minute, I'm still figuring out what's the game about. Because I mean, with all due respect, it's a very good game, but it's kind of it's you have to read the rules and know certain things. So
Yeah.
it's not those like very easy to play, but once you play it, I think it's very beneficial because it's really set your mind thinking about what you should do as a business owner, what you should do for your personal finance, what risk should you be looking at, what investment should you be looking at, and stuff like that. So that's very useful, I find.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I would like to add on, you're right. I got some feedback saying, "Wow, Ranford 不要写," because we actually have this financial statements. Yeah.
Yeah.
不要写
Record.
lah, Yeah, but
Correct.
I always turn it, because with my training background and my facilitation background, I always turn everything into a learning environment. Yeah. So I share them, personal finance. I mean, going back to my 5 skill sets, right, or 5 things people need to think of. So personal finance or financial management is a learned skill. Yeah. So by knowing that, hey, this is actually kind of like the template given to you, to write, if you can master it, how much more effective it will be, in terms of your own personal financial management. Yeah. So actually, it's and I always find that's why I really love this game, because at the end of the day, it's not about me telling you what you need to do. It's through the game you start to uncover that, wow, jialat lah, I don't know anything, blah blah, and also I better jolly well do something about my personal finances. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah. And then it's through the game that when you play, you get to uncover for yourself, right? Because in the game is a safe environment. You can make mistakes, can chiong, so I'll see how you behave when it comes to money. Yeah. So it's kind of a good reflection as well, as compared to making the mistakes in the real world. That'll be more costly. Yeah. So you can make all the mistakes in the game.
Actually, what you say is totally true, because in our course, I mean, Ultimate Investing, we run workshops, and for our course, right, we do simulated stock market game. So then we tell the students to really take it seriously, because really, we've seen it so many times. How you behave in the game is how you will behave in real life. So it's better to lose money in the game than to lose money in real life. So I think game playing is very essential for any sort of education, and it's always more beneficial when you are on a self-discovery journey than just people telling you, oh, this is the correct way to go. But when you discover yourself, right, you actually remember it better.
Yeah.
So I think that's why board games are actually such a good educational tool. Yeah. So I really think that board game is the way to go to teach people about personal finance. Even maybe next time we should invent a stock market board game.
Good idea. Let me know if you want to do something like that. I'll be able to help.
Yeah, we can collaborate on that. Yeah, that's good.
So to add on to what you have mentioned, nowadays, we agree with me, people are always on their phone. Yeah, the kids, even all of us know that we are so tied down to technology. Yeah, so we lose that element of personal touch. Yeah, so that's why with a board game, you really get the people to put their phones aside, get the people to put their iPads aside, and to really play, and really to bond with each other. So for some of my sessions, so basically right now what I'm doing a lot of board game sessions. Yeah, so for some of my sessions, parents bring their children along. Yeah, so it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. The parents get to learn about the gaps, in terms of personal finance, and then they get to bond with their kids. Yeah, they can also, after that, from the game, I can teach their kids, how to manage your finances in the fun way. Yeah, so I think it's something very, very beautiful lah.
That's good. One question from Jean
Yes.
Chai. She's
Jin.
asking, is there any minimum age idea for this game?
Okay,
Is there any
hello Jin. Thanks for tuning in. so the minimum age is actually 13 and above. 13 and
one
above.
three, yeah, 13.
Yes, 1 3. So secondary one, if you talk about Singapore context, secondary one and above. But you'll be surprised, my youngest player is actually 10 years old. 10 years
Oh,
old.
okay.
Yeah, so last year she was 10, so this year she's 11. Okay, and I've also had people younger than 10 play before, but then with the assistance of the parents. Okay, but my 10-year one was really brilliant. She, if you could see her, how she do it, wow, I hats off. Before that, when people tell me that the game was tough, I kind of like empathize. No? But after seeing her at 10 years old, 10 years old is primary 4, primary 4. Yeah, being able to not only play the game, to get other players to move faster, to write down the financial statements, and then to be the banker, to give money.
Wow.
At 10 years old, I'm really, really inspired. Yeah. So, I mean, the kids these days are really, really very smart.
Yep. So even a 10-year-old can learn from this game. That's very, very good. Yeah. So maybe back to maybe question from the audience probably would like to know. So you do so much entrepreneurship and businesses. What is your investing philosophy? Maybe for both yourself and also in your business. Is there some philosophy for investment that you follow?
Okay, so for me, I really believe in investing in businesses. Yeah, I mean that's the reason why I do what I do, right? I'm running my own business from the beginning. It's always about business entrepreneurship because I believe investing in businesses has the highest ROI. Yeah, highest ROI. You could get 10 times, 20 times, 100 times whatever you put in. Yeah, I mean if we talk about financially, like for example, we are putting 5,000 or 10,000, your ROI could be 10 times, 100 times your investment. Okay, that's one. Next is at the end of the day, actually there's sometimes there's no cost to you. Have you heard of this term called OPE, OPM, OPT?
Wait, other people's money, OPM?
Yeah, OPM, other people's money, other people's time, other people's effort, other people's energy. So we talk about it's not about if we talk about leverage. Yeah, sometimes if you don't have the money, let's go and ask, right? Or I always believe in the concept of sell first, buy later. Yeah. So things like, or you can even like we talk about products, consignment. Yeah. So things like this. At the end of the day, business. Personally for me, we talk about investment philosophy. Personally for me, investing in business is the highest ROI because all you need to do is to invest in skill sets. Yeah, like what I mentioned earlier, the 5 skill sets. Invest in skill sets, and then at the end it's just your time, effort, and energy. Yeah. So that's on the business front. So on the personal front, I really believe in personal development in the sense that you really need to invest in yourself. Yeah. So I learned somewhere before during my personal development journey when I was attending a lot of courses, right? They talk about this JAS theory. Have you heard of JAS theory before, Paul?
I did. I think it's by T Half from the million, what's that called? MMI?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I also a cross junkie so I think we attended a lot of similar courses.
Yeah, correct. So the JAS system they talk about things like whatever you're making, you put aside 50% as your expenses. So the other 50% will be going into things like your financial freedom account, long-term saving for spending, education account, giving, and I can't remember the
play.
Yes,
There's a play account. I always remember that.
To pass your JAR, right? Yeah. So I won't go into the details of all these JAR, but basically education, investing yourself. So I'll usually put aside some money really to invest in myself, to really go and learn skill set. And I'm not sure what kind of learner are you. There's kinesthetic, audio, and visual, right? So for me, I'm a probably visual learner. So I love to read. So I read a lot of books. To kind of like improve on myself.
Correct. Actually, the JAR system is very, very interesting. We actually sort of have a similar approach when we teach our students, when you invest, how do you look at your portfolio? we always say don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. And then I always remember the play jives, because I also teach my student, but I don't call it play, I call it the tikam. It's like in your investing portfolio, right? Okay. 90% should be in things that you have a certain system and stuff like that. But allow 10%, okay, of that into a tikam place, because there is always this child in some most of us that want to play. So if you don't allow this child to play, right, then you will play with your 90%. So allow it to play with the 10%. So that's actually, it's not. I learned it from somewhere also. So it's like, example, we teach people how to invest in certain stocks. We look for the fundamental, but there's certain stocks that you just have a liking for it. Example, if you have a liking for Tesla 5 years ago and you just put 10% of portfolio there, you probably would have do very, very well. And at 5 years ago, okay, the fundamental wasn't looking very good. Charts wasn't looking very good also, but it's just a hunch. So there's this 10%. In T half's words is the play jar, but for me it's the tikam portfolio.
Yeah, sounds interesting. I learned something new today from you. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you want to, because I've heard before this saying, I would say at the end of the day, people 10% are investors, the 90% are gamblers. So this tikam jar is to kind of curb the gambling gambling what do you call it, impulse.
Yeah, correct. So sometimes it's very funny. Like some students will ask me, "Hey Paul, I really like this stock, but the this is not good, but I really like it." Then say, "Never mind, you put it into your tikam jar lor." Then if it works lah. If it doesn't, it's only 10%. Yeah, so that's what we tell people. Well, time flies when we are having a good conversation. We are coming to the end of it. But let me see if there's some more questions from you guys. Can you just type into the chat group and we try to address that as much as we can. And also remember, if you like what we're doing here, to share and this Facebook live will be converted to a video, so you can also share to your friends to look at this. And so I'm just waiting for some more questions, because in Facebook there's usually a lag time, so may not come in, but maybe let me just ask Ranford. This is a bit personal. Ranford, are you still single and available?
Wow, some personal question as single. I'm still single. Alright, but in terms of time, probably not looking into a relationship for now. I want to focus on business. Work really takes a lot, and my schedule is really quite probably I would say I'm unconventional. I'm not your your typical kind of my schedule is a bit crazy lah. So unless someone is willing to accept me for my schedule and what I'm doing, you anybody recommend?
Yeah, but I think like what you said, your focus now is very much on business and entrepreneurship, and you have a certain goal that you want to achieve, and that's really very admirable, and really for a person below 30 to have so much business ideas and so much energy to really go and chase after all these things, right? It's really very, very impressive, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There isn't much questions now. I think because maybe some of them already know you. So it's okay. But like I said, the more you share, the more you comment, the more chance you get for the prize. So Ranford, what's the prize for this? What's the lucky prize for this lucky person?
Okay, drum roll please. You can guess. I know. I mean, all the people tuning in, you can guess what is it. So basically, I'm gonna give for the person who the most chatter. I think I'll leave it to your team to decide. Who will receive this gift. Yeah. It will be my one Asset Finesse board game set. Yay!
Wow, nice. Actually, I've saw the board game set and I played it before. The quality, I will really say, is really top notch. Yeah, it's really very well made. From the icons, or no, the pieces that you move around, the cards and stuff like that. It's really very high quality. Yeah, and the most important thing is this game set, board game, right? You can actually teach your children, your friends, all about personal finance. I think that's very important. Yeah. So before we end our chapter with Ranford, right? I think I just want to flash Ranford's quote that I asked Ranford whether is there a quote that he likes. So he told me this. you see on the screen. It's called Love the Life You Live and Live the Life You Love. Okay, and we found it's actually from this singer called Bob Marley. Ranford, you want to just talk a little bit about this quote, why you like it so much?
Yeah, so I came across this quote. I think this quote resonated with me the most. Yeah, so going back to my quarter life crisis story, right? Yeah, so at the end of the day, is your life about the pursuit of wealth, or is it a pursuit about achievements? Is it the pursuit about success? But if it's a pursuit about success, what's your definition of success? Yeah, so these questions were very, very overwhelming for me at that time. Yeah, so at the end of the day, a quote like this actually resonated with me because your life, some of them say, do what I love what I do, and never work a single day in your life. Yeah. So for me, this quote resonated with me more because it's about live the life you love. Yeah. We only have one life, today maybe I'm a bit more like millennial or YOLO lah, I guess. Yeah. You only have one life to live, make the best out of it. Yeah. Coming back to maybe to just drop in some more tips for people who aspire entrepreneurs. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Get up from where you fell down from. And just keep moving forward. Yeah, mental resilience, emotional resilience is the keys, I think, in terms of having that tenacity and having that drive to keep going forward. Yeah, so that's love the life you live, and then of course live the life you love. Yeah, so I really, up to today now, I really love this quote, and this quote is kind of like a reminder. Sometimes I'm not sure if you can relate, but sometimes on days you feel very overwhelmed with so many things going on. Yeah, but the quote like this really sets me grounded. Yeah, to really tell myself, hey, chill man, Ranford, life is good. Just keep going, just keep swimming. Yeah, Dora.
Yeah, actually, this I think is very, very true because I mean entrepreneurship is not easy, and I read it's like one of the key ingredients is actually this thing called grit, and grit can be developed over time, but you need to have something that you really anchor on, something that you really is very passionate about, that will make you want to just clench your teeth and go through it. So I think this quote will really help anybody who's like going into business or want to do entrepreneurship or whatever, want to be successful in life. I think this is the quote that Ranford shared with us. So thank you so much, Ranford. So before we end today's chapter, I would like to share that our YouTube channel, right, you can see on the PowerPoint itself, okay, hash Ultimate Investing. So we are currently at more than 50 videos, and this video will also be on this. So we not only want to educate people on the investment front, we also want to the whole idea of this Outlier series is we want to talk to people who are a bit out of the ordinary, okay, and how they do a bit out of the ordinary, and then they are successful. So these are the people that we are looking to talk to. Yeah. So this session will also be rebroadcast, and we can find it on our Facebook page later. And if you enjoyed today's chapter, don't forget to share, like I say, comment, and your help really goes a long way. Okay, so before we go, maybe we should just take a photo with for just me and Ranford. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, nice. Okay, so thank you everyone, and take care and stay safe. And really thank you, Ranford, for your time. And we will announce the winner. I think we'll give it some more time for you to share. We'll announce the winner on Sunday. So do look out under Ultimate Investing's Facebook page. Okay. So
thank you so much for having me, Paul. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. And have a good weekend, and have a good Friday night. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Okay.